Good evening, everybody. Hello, Miss Patsy and Tracy and Margaret. Hello, my friends. How are y'all? We are doing strawberry and blueberry wreath tonight. I already did most of the prep work, but while everybody's coming in, sitting down, having a seat, I thought we'd cut the mesh. We're going to cut 8 pieces, 20 inches long. Hello, Miss Cindy and Joyce and Tony and Pam. Good evening. All right. I have already loaded our board. This is how we load our board, load our board, load our board at Unique in the Creek. Y'all didn't really think I was going to use zip ties that again. All right, so we cut our mesh 20 inches and we are going to ruffle our life away right now. Roll it in one time and then ruffle, 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 ruffle. We are using blue fine weave mesh. Well, hello, all my YouTube friends, Miss Terry and Wanda. Hello, my friends at the Ribbon Shed and Unique in the Creek. Hello, everybody. Hello, Miss Lori. It's Monday. What a way to start your week. Hello, Miss Melanie. My cruise was good. I'm going on another one at the end of April. That tells you how my cruise went. Hello, Miss Lori. This time I'm going to try another cruise line, even though the previous cruise line is throwing some deals at me that are making me drool. And I do mean drool. Like, stop it. And they would be like really, really, hold on, I gotta adjust my mic, y'all, it's stabbing me. And they would be like really, really sweet deals. And better if I thought I could handle an interior cabin. I don't think I can. I'm claustrophobic. And I realize, you know, I just don't think I can cope with it. Like when we were boarding the ship, there was so many of us in one elevator. I stuck my head against the glass and looked out the window. Like, I'm not a fan of confined spaces at all. And it's actually gotten worse as I've gotten older, so I keep that in mind too. Well, you're in there too to take a shower, and the showers are pretty small. Hello, Miss Cassie. This is the large round board from Unique in the Creek. Hello, Miss Vanessa. So, I don't know if I could, like, and I know it'd be just me and my husband, and I've already taken all this into consideration. Like, it would just be me and my husband in the cabin, and I get that. And when it came to taking a shower, I wouldn't have to close the door, so it'd, you know, feel more open because it's just me and my husband. But, I just don't think it's a good idea. So, taking my husband, this will be his first cruise, because last time I went with a friend. And I'm trying to find the ideal cruise to book for me and my daughter. Because we have dogs. We can't all travel at the same time because I'm not boarding my pets just so I can go on a cruise. We're against that. So that's just us. That's our choice. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the ribbon on the outside before we put our mesh on the inside. I have cut 12 pieces of each ribbon, 14 inches long, that we are using. Carry your ribbon up together, find center, give it a pinch. Yeah, I got a balcony room. My first cruise, I was spoiled because we got upgraded to a suite for a hella good deal. So I don't think after that I can do anything less than a balcony. I'm not trying to sound like a, you know, cruise snob or anything. So don't get that twisted. Boarding dogs is expensive because you got to get them kennel cough shots and stuff like that before. And Even if you get them the kennel cough, they might end up getting it, and then you got vet bills when you get back. So we're not here to play that game. Okay, so right now I'm not fixing my ribbons like I would normally because we still have mesh to put on the inside and ribbon. So after we do that, we'll get to fixing our ribbon. We went on my first cruise, we went to Cozumel and Progreso. This next cruise, we're going to Honduras, Belize, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. I'm doing 4 ports. Hello, Miss Sarah. We're going to do a 7-day. Last time I did a 5-day. So... if the color doesn't look right on your screen, my mesh is a royal blue. It looks fine on mine, but all my supplies came from the ribbonshed.com. Only thing I don't like about the ocean view is how close it is to the bottom of the ship. So there's that. Now, I was looking at some cruise ships on their interior rooms and their ocean view. They kind of change up a little bit. So some of the cruise ships that are the bigger ones, their interior rooms sometimes have, or ocean view, aren't ocean view. They view out into the middle of the ship, or what they call Times Square or whatever on the ship. I think I could do like an ocean view in that kind of way, if that makes sense. But I really I need a window. Okay, so now that we have our mesh on the outside, and hello, Miss Glinda, how are you? We are going to cut our mesh for the inside, and because the holes are closer together on the inside, we're just going to cut our mesh 15 inches, and we're going to cut 8 pieces of it. Being my husband, we're looking at the excursions, and we were going to do one. And then my husband started doing a little bit of research, reading reviews about the excursion. And this one particular excursion, I'm not going to tell y'all where, because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, because, you know. But they talked about sand crabs. If you don't know what sand crabs are, they're this little crustacean. They're not really sand crabs, but that's what people call them. And they're about 2 inches big. And a lot of people were like, yeah, everything was great till we got bit by a sand crab. A lot of things were great. The beach was infested with blah, blah, blah. Told my husband I'm out. No, thank you. Never mind. You know, we just thought it'd be nice to sit on the beach one day, even though I'm not beachy people. My husband's not beachy people, but we thought we'd give it a try, right? Why not? Because it was an all-inclusive one, so you know, you're paying for food and drink to sit on the beach, and it was fairly inexpensive. So I thought, why not? Well, found out why not. Then I'm Googling after my husband said sand crabs, looking them up. Like, can we bring them back with us? No, you can't bring them back. We don't have the right environment for them and all that. Plus, I mean, I'm the kind of person, like, I'm going to shower and stuff before I leave the beach area. Shake my towel out really good. You know, that kind of thing. But, you know, no thanks. I'm out. I'm good. Spend my evening scratching. What's wrong with you? I got bit by a sand crab. And people, all they're going to hear is crab. I bet. No thanks. Start screaming, what do you mean you got crabs? And it was a little too early in the cruise to take that chance. Kind of like getting sunburnt on the first day. And then you spend the rest of your vacation laid up in your room, miserable. So, that's okay. But my friend had been there before, and she was telling me how small the port was, and I was like, you know what? We'll just go look around the port, and then we'll get back on the ship, and we'll make a day of it at the pool. That'll be our pool day when everybody else is off the ship doing their excursions and crap. Y'all know what I mean? One of the biggest things I see people complain about going on cruises is the people that get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and they run down to the pool and put a towel on the chair to save it. Hello, Miss Deborah. How are you? And I keep seeing this, and I keep seeing this. And I'm going to tell y'all how I feel about it. Number one, the towel is owned by the cruise ship. I don't see how they can prove specifically who put what towel where. Right? Second of all, if there ain't no meat in the seat, all right, so instead of bundling up our ribbon, we're going to do it every other. And the reason we're doing this is because the ties on the inside are closer together. And if you bundle your ribbon up in the center, it kind of looks a little too ribbony. We're starting to have a heat wave around here, Miss Deborah. I like me a good heat wave until the snakes come out. And then I go back in. Once the snakes come out for spring, I am done going outside. Sarah, I tried that. It does not work. We had a snake problem one year. It wouldn't leave beside my porch. I took a whole thing of those mothballs and dumped them around my porch. That does not work. Hello, Miss Patricia. I don't even stick around to kill them. Like, nope. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Yes, Miss Tracy, but thank you for traumatizing me further, because yes, I'm aware of that. Very well aware of that, ma'am, but thank you for that reminder. They can climb trees and stuff. Yep. They fall out of the sky too, Tracy. Did you know that? I found that one out the hard way. I'm going to assume it was up in a tree and fell out of the tree, then hit my roof and slid off and landed right in front of me. I just about died. Well, Miss Sarah, we have stink bugs too. Welcome to Kentucky. We have those critters here. All right, we're going to be using ficus tonight. And the reason I wanted to use this particular ficus is because it kind of reminded me of the leaves on the strawberry. All right. One thing I like, the Ribbon Shed sells these stems individually instead of bunches. Like everywhere else you have to buy them in bunches. The Ribbon Shed sells them individually so you can get more variety of color when you order. The reason I'm not pulling this one is because leaf is pretty folded, and I don't want to plug my steamer up to fix it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take our pipe cleaner and in the yoke here, we're just going to tie this in, make it easy peasy. And then as we do that, we'll just we'll fix our ribbon. I hear my dogs are being very opinionated about something tonight, and my husband's already home, so I know it's not that. Oh, Lori, that'll be fun. Did everybody have a good Valentine's? I took my husband shopping because he needed new clothes for the cruise. My husband for years has done nothing but live out of work clothes and golf shirts. So he needed vacation clothes. And then my husband, he knows my love language. He looked at me, he said, "Want to take a nap?" I was like, "Who, baby, you know what I like." Anybody else at that age? Some of y'all will get that, some of y'all won't. Did I know Catfish Corner? Ma'am, this is going to come as a great shock to you. Despite the fact that I live in Kentucky, and I was raised here, I wasn't born here, but I was raised here, I do not like catfish. There you go. You should see the look on people's faces around here. They invite me, "Hey, you want to go to such and such catfish dinner?" No, I do not. Do not, thank you. They look at me all of a sudden like I'm an alien. Kinda am. I'm an implant. I'm not originally from around here. So ease up a little bit on the facial expressions there. I know this is going to sound weird to some of y'all, but because some people like, "Oh, go out to eat, whatever, for Valentine's Day." To me, going out to eat is not special. Going out to eat is survival. You have to eat. So all right, let me put my one pipe cleaner in. Hey, Tina. See, she's still here. See, when I lived up north in New York and stuff, like, the fish there was fluke and flounder. That was like wonderful. All right, let's go ahead and get our strawberry ready to go on the wreath. I think we're gonna, because it's short, we're gonna need some longer pipe cleaners. Now, they have these longer pipe cleaners at the ribbon shed. If you don't have longer, just tie two together. And we're just going to staple this on here with no staples in the gun. It eventually had to happen, my friends. Somebody out there's going, "Good, I'm glad it happened." I use 1/4-inch staples. Now, using 1/4-inch staples will not work on signs from Dollar Tree. Um, I was born in Michigan. Miss Tina, do you know where Miss Lynn is? Tell her she's very late to the party and I'm very disappointed in her. Tell her it's Monday. You know what the good thing about being single on Valentine's Day is? You know what you want. Buy yourself a treat. And life goes on. I used to live out in Long Island. I actually grew up swimming in the Long Island Sound. Fishing off of Montauk Point. It never bothered me to be alone on Valentine's Day. Ever. Ever. Don't get me wrong, I love my husband. But the Valentine's guessing game gets old. What do you want for Valentine's Day? My second thought is if you don't know me that well by now. There you go. Exactly. Now, some people get really into Valentine's Day, and that's, that's fine. I ain't knocking nobody for nothing and their traditions and whatnot, but my kind of thing is if I have to wait all year long for my husband to love me for one day a year, he gonna be singing the song bye bye bye. All right, y'all. We're gonna use a two-sided ribbon from Christmas, y'all, for the red polka dot side. See, that's me, Teresa. I choose peace. See, that's how I feel about it, Tracy. Now, I do think at the beginning of a relationship, Valentine's Day is crucial. You know what I mean? And the reason I think that Valentine's Day at the beginning of a relationship is crucial is because if, it's kind of like sets the tone for how much effort they're going to put into you from that point on. It's kind of like the first 5 years, Valentine's Day. Then after that, it's like, like my husband and I, we're celebrating a lot this year. So we're just going to take a cruise and celebrate it all at one time. No, we still are in the honeymoon phase, but now we're at the sensible phase of marriage. Some of y'all will know exactly what I mean. Like, how many knickknacks can you display from over the years? It's like, if you're married for a long time, and, how many Valentine's Day, birthday can you display, right? So me and my husband just decided we're going to take that money and bundle it up into one big vacation. Yeah. I think for the past couple years, my husband's been like, what do you want for Christmas? I said, pajamas. Pajamas. New pajamas, please. That's all. Well, our wreath attachment's kind of small. I mean, not totally small, but kind of. See, look. So we kind of need a big bow to fill some real estate. Okay, so this is the direct top of my wreath. We're going to go off to the side with it. Okay. My husband's love language, y'all, is buying him the Valentine's Day candy on sale. It's funny, I was talking to a lady today, and I promise you, you will get to a certain age. If you're young and in love and still sleeping in the same bed, couldn't picture yourself not sleeping in the same bed with them, that is awesome. Because I'm here to tell you, like, every woman and man was at that point at some point in time. Okay? Then as time goes by, the king bed goes like this. You're not doing that anymore. I promise. The next thing you know, somebody starts snoring and moving around a lot because as we get older, things happen to our bodies and, you know, we start moving around a lot. Next thing you know, your relationship goal is separate bedrooms. You think I'm kidding? Ask around, my friends. True story. If you wonder why marriages survive that long, it's because they sleep in different bedrooms. Donna, I'm so glad. Okay, well, I'm a flopper. My husband's a snorer. And here as of late, I have had thoughts of putting him on the couch. Because it's snoring so bad. Like, oh, I'm all over the bed. I snatch blankets in the middle of the night. My husband's fighting for his life with the blankets. I mean, I'll admit to that. And most of the reason is because of how much pain I'm in. I got to adjust positions quite frequently. So there's that. All right. We're going to turn our wreath kind of upside down now. And this is the very top. This right here is the very top of the wreath. And we're just going to kind of slide our strawberry in there. Let go. Like so. I don't know, you just kind of get to a point in marriage, like, you know, you're still affectionate, still very affectionate with your partner and all that. But when it comes to sleep, it's like, could you sleep over there? Not here. We had him tested for sleep apnea. Nope. By the way, the nice thing about this wreath, in case you haven't noticed, it's red, white, and blue. So it's for somebody that loves strawberries. And then also the coloring will carry on into patriotic. So it's a good let go. All right, so I'm not pulling too tightly on my strawberry. I don't want it to sink into my wreath. I kind of want it to hover there. So cute. I did the pretty ribbon. I was lucky to talk about this when we were at the. Okay, y'all, we gotta have more greenery.
Because it's a little too blue, a little too red.
It's just a little too. So we're gonna add some. And if you're doing floral arrangements, you leave these alone, but since we're not, we're gonna push them to the end so they're not too long.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
They're berries, but we're gonna use them as blueberries. Why not?
Yeah, they don't.
Just shh.
They're the same. They're blue. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. They're blue and they're a berry. They're a blueberry.
Cute.
Yeah, went to the ribbon shed the other day, and Sherry had these like glittery strawberries. I chose these because they were a little bit bigger.
And I like how there's.
They're not. They weren't glitter. They were kind of like a gem. They weren't glitter. I don't want to. They're not. They weren't glittery. They were more of a gem kind of thing. Yeah, kind of like that. All right, so I've already got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? And we'll save that one for later. Y'all drive careful. I think the next wreath I'll do with y'all will be a supercharged, extra large lemon wreath. Let's go. All right, let's get these in here real quick. Now you can just tie these in with your pipe cleaner if you want to. I don't think y'all want to wait for me to do that, so we're just going to hot glue them in so it goes quicker. Hey, Sherry, did the pallet come in? I love it when Sherry tells me she's got pallets of goodies coming. Hello, Miss Gail. How are you? I'm trying to, Miss Gail. I'm still adjusting to the new medicine. Love it with the greenery, y'all. Much better. Much better. And now we're going to poke in some more strawberries. We're going to leave them as is, stem long and all. And the first one we're going to put in is Catty Corner from the bow. And the reason we're doing that is to keep balance. And we're going to go up here with it because it's longer than I anticipated. Plus it shows up a little bit better. And the next one, we're going to kind of angle it up just a little bit to give the wreath some dimension. I'm going to pull the strawberries apart just a little bit. Those are all not lined up in unison. Flip the leaves over so they look better. This is a very good wired stem, y'all. Hello, Miss Kelly. How are you? All right, now that we got those in, we're going to pluck around with some blueberries a little bit. Well, they're not blueberries, but they're berries, and that's what we're going to use them for. Y'all with me on that? It's a berry stem. They're blue. Blueberry. That's my thoughts on it. Ta-da! Ah! There's Miss Fashionably Late. I'm going to shorten that pick down so it'll stay in the... Well, we said your name a couple times like you're Beetlejuice or something, and you didn't appear, so... Alright, my friends, it is Monday. Guess what? Guess what? This is your Saturday with me. So this Saturday, I have a bunch of lemons left over from last year. And when I was at the Craig Bachman warehouse sale, I bought this really big lemon to do on an oval. So I believe that's what we're going to do. We're going to lemon it up in here. Y'all know what I mean? And I mean it's big. I can show y'all. I think it's right in front of me, basically. Maybe not. But we'll lemon it up in here, because I've got some lemons and whatnot. And there's all kinds of cute lemon ribbon at the ribbon chip. All right, my friends, you have a great rest of your week. I will see you again Saturday.